Che mi sbada la New York quello da guidi. Ai 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 ai.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So I'm gonna start this video with two legends of the sport. Jay Cutler, the 4 times Olympia champion, and the one guy who always considered Jay his mentor when he was young up and coming star in bodybuilding, the 7 times Olympia champion, Heath. Specifically how great these two iconic stars are looking right now, being retired from competitive bodybuilding for so many years, especially Jay Cutler in particular, who has been retired for more than a decade now, still looking so big and so lean at the same time. Well, in reality, he's actually coming down a bit, but just because he is so lean and so separated, he looks much bigger. So it is amazing to see Jay Cutler, who is a perfect ideal example for many bodybuilders out there on what to do post-retirement, what kind of a physique to carry for most part of the year.
So I don't usually care that much about how big I am, or I want to be lean. So that's why I stay so particular in my diet.
Many people will be shocked to hear that Jay Cutler only weighed at about 247 pounds at 2009 Miss Olympia, when he did that famous quad stomp, and he became the only man in the history to win back his Olympia title after losing it to Dexter Jackson the previous year. So 15 years after that moment, Jay now weighs 228 pounds, which is a very good weight for him because he looks so healthy and so lean. And most importantly, he still loves to train every single day.
Hey, you're going to lose muscle mass. Screw that. I don't want to lose muscle mass. I just want to stay. I'm around 228 now. I know it's hard for people to believe that. But 228 is a good weight. I always thought I'd fall around 225 by the time it was said and done.
So Jay was pretty open about the fact that he did not particularly like his time on the stage, but he loved to train. So Jay was among those guys who trained twice a day for most part of his pro career. And the fact that he has been retired for more than a decade now and still looks so good, that is so inspirational for so many people around the world. Heath, I have got to say, is the most gifted bodybuilder of the last 2 decades or so, if not of all time. And would you be even remotely surprised if these 2 movements were the only 2 movements that Heath did for most part of his pro career to grow his triceps? I mean, the man was so gifted that even as an amateur, he had those great arms, and his arms were the reason Jay noticed him backstage in a show, and all hardcore bodybuilding fans, they have seen that famous picture of him and Jay Cutler from back in the day. Little did Jay know that this particular kid, he's gonna be the one to dethrone him in the upcoming years. So there is a reason Phil's arms are considered the greatest ever, and that reflects in his physique even to this day, at the age of 44, when he is retired for almost 5 years now, when he is about to turn 45. And the man is another prime example on how to slowly downsize after the retirement, but at the same time maintain a very lean physique all year round. So Phil cemented his legacy as one of the all-time greatest, but we believe he could have broken that record of Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney if he did not chase more size after 2015, because that was the time when Romy was emerging. He was coming onto the scene as a potential future Miss Olympia, and he was over 300 pounds on the stage at that time. So those years after 2015, they did not do Phil's physique any good, and even he himself agrees that his best was either 2011 or 2013. And I have got to say, even his 2010 look at the Arnold Classic, that look would have won him the Miss Olympia title even today. So 2025 is gonna be the year which is gonna be remembered as the one where many open bodybuilding guys, they make their comeback. And this will also be the one where a lot of these names in the men's open class, they will miss their Olympia qualification. And one of those guys who is really fired up to get back on the stage, that is Sergio Oliva Jr, who has been working with Stefan at the moment as his coach after splitting up with his former coach Neil Hill. So he hasn't announced the show just yet, but we all know he loves to compete at the Arnold. And as a tall guy who has got a lot of size, he has made a statement in the past that he can compare really well against guys like Samson Dauda and Andrew Jack. Now we haven't seen this comparison ever before, and this statement will only make some sense once Sergio delivers something special in a competitive lineup on the stage. And this upcoming Arnold, That is actually a perfect opportunity for him to compete against both these guys. But then again, I have got to say, this statement of his, that is a bit far-fetched. Because the last time we saw him on the stage, that was at Cali Pro last year, where he lost to Tony Burton, and not only just him, to Ross Patrick as well. So he has got a lot of work to do. But one thing is very certain. Sergio fully realizes that he is 40 years old now, and he doesn't have much time left. So this is now or never for him. So we are definitely gonna see him on the stage in 2025, and maybe more than once, so that he gets his Olympia qualification. He's definitely one of the bigger guys in the men's open class. It has been said time and time again by other pros, by other legends of the sport, that he looks larger than a live character in person. But that size hasn't translated on the stage, because he has not been truly shredded in any of the shows that he has done in the recent past. Maybe Stefan can help him unlock a new level.
Dá sa povedať, že som sa už pustil do plného tréningového zaťažovania. Sice tie váhy sú ešte nie také, ako by mali byť, ale sme na dobrej ceste, takže od nového roku už určite bomby. December bude na to taký, aby som tie váhy adaptoval tomu.
So first official confirmation by Michael Krizo from his YouTube video that he's gonna be doing this upcoming New York Pro, which is happening after Detroit Pro. So you guys can see that he's still using very little weights, especially for his injured shoulder. But still, the man is looking massive. And that being said, he is gonna be back to his original peak size by the end of this year, as he ramps up his training, his food, and he starts a prep for this upcoming New York Pro. So previously, Michael Krizo said that he might do the Arnold, which is happening in March, about 1.5 months before the New York Pro. But maybe he doesn't feel like there is enough time for him to fully prep and present his best. Because we have to keep in mind, whatever show he does next, that is gonna be his comeback show. And there will be a lot of eyes on him and how well he can duplicate that 2023 Prague Pro look. Because I believe that was probably his best ever since he switched over to the IFBB Pro League. Now Michael Krizo will never be that guy with the most amazing aesthetics and very pleasing physique. But he has so much size and so much freak factor. He appears so big on the stage, especially from the front, and sometimes that is enough to get the judges' attention. So he was able to beat some very good bodybuilders in his last Olympia competition, and he was in a great condition at that show. Just because the New York Pro, that is just a week after next year's Pittsburgh Pro, it will have an insane lineup. So Krizo will be truly tested. Next up, we have an update from Mike Sommerfeld. Now, I have no idea how this man still has room to grow, to get bigger, before he hits his classic physique weight cap. Because that side chest, in his recent update, the size of his side leg, that looks totally insane. That looks like a men's open guy. So Mike is so focused on winning the classic physique Olympia title next year. And he should be. This wasn't an off version of C-Bum, and Mike was able to beat him in more than one shot. And that is actually more damage than anyone ever did in the past. And that just goes to show you how great Mike is. And the fact that he still has room to get bigger, to grow, that makes him so dangerous. So there were many comments about Mike looking like a bodybuilder in classic physique category, which I'm not sure are true. He has got an amazing V-taper, very flawless posing, and he has got so much density. But with C-Bum doing Prague Pro, and how great he looked next to Martin Fitzwater, that did open the door for so many guys, including Mike, to do an open show in the post-Olympia tour next year and see where he lands. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.